The game begins with Alpha Team entering a dark forest to search for the missing helicopter of Bravo Team. Meanwhile, we learn that very strange and mysterious murders have happened recently in Raccoon City. According to claims, the victims were not only attacked but also eaten afterward. Bravo Team had been sent to investigate exactly this incident, but no one had heard from them since. As Alpha Team, we are here to uncover the truth behind all of this. After searching for a while, we find Bravo's helicopter. However, we notice that some parts of Kevin's corpse are missing. We begin moving deeper into the forest to understand what happened, and then suddenly, creatures that look like dogs but are deadly to humans appear. They attack the team, and we start running for our lives. After a long chase, we finally reach that infamous, dark mansion. But only 3 people survive the chase: Captain Wesker, Barry, and our playable character Jill. We still don't know what happened to Chris. As we try to plan our next move, a sound at the door grabs our attention. Wesker orders us to check where it came from. Barry joins us, and we split up from Wesker to investigate the source. Barry notices blood on the floor and thinks to himself, "I hope it's not Chris's." While examining the blood, he tells us to keep looking around. When we enter a room at the back of the mansion, we encounter a very unwelcome sight. We quickly get away from the room and return to Barry. Barry eliminates the zombie. After the shock fades, we decide to return to Wesker, but when we go back, he's nowhere to be found. Even when we call out, there's no answer. We split up from Barry and start exploring the mansion. Barry gives us a lockpick that will be very useful later. As we wander around, we encounter many zombies. Personally, I preferred to run away rather than fight, at least unless I absolutely had to. After progressing for a while, we fall into a deadly trap. The ceiling starts coming down on us, and with no other option left, we scream for help. Barry arrives at the last moment and saves us. This makes us realize that zombies aren't the only danger in this mansion. Yes, the house is full of traps. As we continue walking, we encounter an injured teammate named Richard. He says he was attacked by a poisonous snake. He recalls seeing a serum that could treat the wound but couldn't get to it. We set off to find the serum. In a room we fight a small enemy and defeat it, but things are far from over. Just when we say, finally, the giant snake reappears. It suddenly lunges and kills Richard. We are forced to escape from there. After investigating the mansion for a while longer, we go outside. At that moment, we receive a radio call. Barry tells us to stay away from the forest. Of course, we ignore him and continue moving forward. After solving a few puzzles, we enter a room and get knocked unconscious by something. When we wake up, a strange creature attacks us. It is chained, with its arms and legs restrained, yet it somehow managed to escape. This creature is very different from the others. Keep this in mind, because it will appear again later. When we return to the mansion, we hear voices coming from behind a door. When we listen closely, we hear someone talking about eliminating the S.T.A.R.S team, speaking in a frightened tone like, "What about my family?" and saying, "This wasn't part of the deal." When we open the door, we find Barry talking to himself. The first thought that comes to mind is this: could Barry be a traitor? Despite this, Jill chooses to trust Barry. I can't help but say that Jill is a bit naive. As we descend into the lower levels of the mansion, things become darker. The monsters diversify and the events become more mysterious. Meanwhile, we activate a system that locks all doors for security. While progressing, we encounter a giant creature resembling an octopus. It tosses us around, but Barry arrives to help and manages to defeat the monster. A small note: if we had chosen Chris in the game, this fight would have been much more difficult. So playing as Jill makes things somewhat easier. After moving forward a bit more, we encounter our teammate Wesker, who disappeared at the beginning of the game. He claims he escaped and hid to survive. After a short conversation, he hints that something is wrong with Barry. Jill and Wesker think it might just be because of the conditions they are in, but honestly, I don't feel comfortable with the situation at all. After leaving Wesker, we begin looking for a way to escape the mansion. At this point, we see a cutscene showing us being watched from the perspective of a creature. This means the monsters are getting stronger and the game is becoming harder. After dealing with them, we continue searching through the mansion. I should mention this: a big part of the game consists of wandering around aimlessly. Figuring out what to do becomes genuinely difficult at times. In that sense, the game is confusing, yet interesting. After walking for a while, we fight the giant snake again, our old enemy. However, this time it is not as troublesome, and we defeat it. Then we go down into a part of the mansion that is far stranger than the rest. It's a dirty, wet, cave-like, and unsettling area. After progressing a little, we encounter a man. He tells Jill that there is a traitor in the team. During the conversation, someone is eavesdropping on us. Whoever the traitor is, they realize Jill now knows something. The man also mentions a group called Umbrella. This name will play a major role in future games, so keep it in mind. Meanwhile, we still haven't found Chris, who disappeared at the beginning of the game. Since he is one of the two main characters, this is a major issue for us. After wandering through the cave-like area a bit longer, we run into Barry again. Let me ask a serious question at this point. With so many zombies around, why does the team constantly split up? It would make far more sense to stay together, but the game chooses another path. Barry hears a sound. It resembles a human groan. He sends us ahead, saying he will check behind us and make sure nothing goes wrong. But Jill should start realizing a few things by now. Barry constantly disappearing and reappearing is extremely suspicious. We go inside to investigate the sound and look around for a while. When we return, Barry is gone again. He literally abandoned us. Eventually, we find a way out and leave the cave. Returning to the mansion, while searching for Barry, we finally find him.
Jill, you're alive. I was worried, because I thought you were...
Start talking.
Calm down, I didn't want to do it, believe me, I can explain!
At that moment, the giant chained creature appears again. While Barry fights the creature, we look for a way out. We manage to make the creature fall below. As it falls, it screams, "Mother!" This small detail will be very important later, so remember it. A moment ago, Barry was pointing a gun at our head, yet now he says he will handle the creature and tells us to move forward. Jill accepts it like nothing happened. Jill really trusts too easily. Think about it, Chris is missing, many team members have died, we have been told there is a traitor among us, Barry constantly vanishes, he even pointed a gun at us moments ago. Yet Jill still trusts him. After solving some puzzles, we manage to activate the elevator so we can keep going. As the elevator opens, Barry appears and arrogantly says, "You could have at least waited for me," acting like he's completely innocent. After getting on the elevator, we encounter Wesker. Once again, Barry points his gun at us. Jill asks Wesker, "What do you know?"
Wesker, you're pathetic.
Well, you shouldn't worry too much, dear. You'll be free of all this anyway.
Why eliminate S.T.A.R.S?
Believe it or not, that's Umbrella's intention.
And finally, the truth behind everything is revealed. The traitor was Wesker. Barry had been forced to follow Wesker's orders because his family was being held hostage. That was why he had no choice but to obey. So why did Wesker do all of this? Earlier in the game, Umbrella was mentioned. It turns out that Wesker was actually working for Umbrella. In fact, Umbrella had created a monster in this laboratory. Looking at the creature, Wesker calls it perfect. Then he points his gun at Jill. He pulls the trigger, and Jill dies. Of course, the game doesn't end this way. At that exact moment, Barry shoots Wesker and saves Jill. Barry immediately apologizes and says he had no other choice. Jill doesn't blame Barry. Considering just how many things happened because of him, Jill is still understanding. While Jill and Barry are talking, Wesker releases the monster he created. The creature's first target is Wesker, and it kills him. Then the boss fight begins. I could say it's difficult, but since the combat mechanics are all similar, it doesn't become unbearably hard. After defeating the creature, we grab Barry and try to escape the mansion. While we attempt to escape after defeating the creature, we finally find Chris, our teammate who disappeared at the very beginning. We take him with us, and all together we head outside. Suddenly, the creature we thought we defeated earlier appears once more. We are forced to fight it one last time. We fight with similar mechanics again, and this time we truly defeat the creature. Then the S.T.A.R.S team arrives to rescue us. After everything that happened, with thousands of unanswered questions in our minds, we leave the mansion. As we get on the helicopter and take off, we watch the mansion explode due to the explosives. The massive building, along with all its secrets, burns to ashes, and the final scene of the game closes with this image. But serious questions remain. What exactly was Umbrella after? Why did Wesker go so far? Was the creature in that laboratory truly perfect? Who was the chained monster's mother? What will happen to Barry's family after all this? Why did Chris disappear? What will S.T.A.R.S do from now on? The game ends by making us think about all of this. It may seem like everything has ended, but in reality the story is only beginning. Because we will eventually learn that Umbrella and these incidents are just a small part of something much larger, and thus, we complete this part of Resident Evil. From the mysterious mansion, all that remains is the image of an explosion and the beginning of an even bigger chain of events.